Back to my mental health and crime channel. My name is Huda London. This is the case of the Idaho. May the 4 victims rest in peace. Condolence to the families, and may the correct justice be served. This is the part 2 of my theories of the timelines that were changed. According to law and enforcement, it was said that these awful, horrific crimes happened between 3 to 4 a.m. I always believed that something happened to Kaylee and Maddie close to 3 a.m. and something happened to Ethan and Zana from 1:56 to 2:25. This is just my thoughts and my opinions. I would advise y'all to see the clip before this because I explain about Ethan and Zana's timeline, and I showed y'all a confirmation that the coroner said that the unalivings happened after 2 a.m. I have been searching for that clip for over 2 years, so I'm really blessed to have found it today. It's the previous clip. It will make sense when you'll take into consideration what Ethan's mother said 2 a.m. is the hardest time, and the coroner saying that the unalivings happened after 2 a.m. It could have happened at 4 a.m. too, but after 2 a.m. is very close to 2 a.m. So today I'd like to talk about Kaylee and Maddie. May they rest in peace. I believe Kaylee and Ethan were one of the main targets. I've always said that from the beginning. If it comes to Jack Showalter, allegedly, Ethan and Zana. Ethan and Kaylee were his targets. I don't know why he's lying and he says he doesn't know Kaylee, allegedly. And Hunter said he doesn't know Kaylee either. He couldn't even pronounce her name. And I think that was all a lie. Because if you don't know Kaylee, why would you open the door, the backyard door, and come and sit with her while she's talking to the officer? Why were you, Hunter, in zip ties? A lot of things don't make sense. Obviously, people are going to distance themselves from somebody who could be a suspect or suspects. I have repeated myself over thousands of times about Jack D, or what I believe, because all my research leads me to Jack D, in my opinion only. It leads me to Jack D possibly having to do with Kaylee's unaliving. If you watched Emily Ant' interview today, there's a little part I want to show you all about. Something that the detective told her. And that is something I've been talking about in 3 years. Especially when people start trying to tell you, oh, why are you taking this theory and why are you talking about a certain person. I want you all to listen to the professional, the detective himself. This was Emily Ant's interview, and AANDT. Listen to what the officer tells her when he was done with the interview. And I will be analyzing the interview by tomorrow, but I just need you to hear this, please.
Best resources is the rumor mill, believe it or not, okay? So if you start hearing the same name of somebody come up, and your friends start saying, oh, I heard so-and-so may be involved or heard something else, make sure you get a hold of us, okay? I'm going to give you just a business card here real fast. This is not my business card. I'm not a captain.
Can I just use like some random phone to call?
Well, yes, absolutely.
Okay.
And like I said, we'll try to get your phone back as quick as you can.
Yeah.
This is our campus division captain, okay? His name's Tyson. Really, really good guy. You can email him, okay? You can call the non-emergency number, all right? I'll put my name on the back here too, just so you know who I am.
The officer told Emily the best method is the rumor mill. If you keep on hearing someone's name mentioned plenty of times, call us and let us know. Now, the rumor mill was always saying Jack Showalter, allegedly, Jack T, allegedly, David B, allegedly, David Lott, allegedly. Those 4 names and the surviving roommates was on everyone's tongue from the college. It was on 4chan, on Reddit, everywhere. But let's be honest, we didn't hear much about the surviving roommates. We always heard the Davids, and we all heard so much about the Jacks, especially the Jacks. I showed you articles that were written about the Jacks. Jack D, especially. It was written that he rented someone to do this. There was all kind of speculations. There were many people from the college that were saying he never got over Kaylee. And then you had his professor that was concerned about his behavior, the breakup with Kaylee.
This is not my business card. I'm not a captain.
Trying to just use like some random someone to call.
Yes, absolutely.
Okay.
And like I said, we'll try to get your phone back as quick as you can.
Yeah.
Honestly, it's the best thing. One of our best resources is the rumor mill, believe it or not. Okay. So if you start hearing the same name of somebody come up, and your friends start saying, "Oh, I heard so and so may be involved or heard something else," make sure you get a hold of us. Okay. I'm gonna give you just a business card here real fast.
Kaylee and Maddie's timeline, in my theory, seems to be that Kaylee and Maddie got to the grub truck. I agree with Olivia at 1:44. At 1:39, Kaylee and Maddie took a picture, or somebody took a photo of them with Jack D. That was at 1:39. At 1:40, they left the corner club. You can see Hayden with that striped jumper. The reason I mention him is because he's at the grub truck too. 2 locations, quite important. Because I believe the people at the corner club, some of the people at the corner club moved over to the grub truck. The girls were under surveillance, in my opinion. So this is when Jack, Showalter, Kaylee, and Maddie leave the grub truck at 1:40. You can see the white truck pulling out in towards the corner club. I believe David B is driving it. It could be David Lott, possibly, because David B was one of the drivers, sober drivers, and he did not drive Jack D home, according to Jack D. Jack D said that he called the sober driver, but the sober driver was driving too many people and he was stopped by the police, the sober driver, so he decided to call a friend to drive him home. And he was lying about his timeline. Jack D said, I came home at 1 o'clock and I fell asleep at 1:30 when he was at the corner club at 1:39. That is an important bit. I believe Jack D, his alibi is in serious questioning. Do you all remember what the officer just told Emily? And he said, listen to the rumor mill, because that is important. This was one of the first rumor mills that kept on going on. Jack Showalter, his apartment is a red dot next to the girl's house. Kaylee was rude to him at the bar, got him kicked out, and he snapped. And the couple that with his got him kicked out of Ethan's. Okay, basically, the person is trying to say that Jack Showalter is the neighbor of the girls. He lives in Queen's apartment. We know that. Ethan got him kicked out of his frat. And Kaylee was rude to him and got him kicked out of the corner club. And he snapped. Now, it's just a rumor, but it could be true. And I've heard it in many places, right from the beginning. It makes sense for me. One target on the second floor, Ethan, and one on the third, Kaylee. And they both seem to have been tortured, Kaylee and Ethan. Why did Showalter leave town? And where was Jack D and the Davids? This is the reason I believe Ethan and Kaylee both were targets. But Maddie, Zana, and Ethan were all targets of the Sigma Chi fraternity too, and the frats, in my opinion. According to 4chan, I believe that.
So we really feel like that's a very technology savvy generation in that town, all those college students. So that's an asset, and to not take advantage of that asset seems pretty naive.
The committee says they want to do anything they can to help the investigation, but believe investigators could be missing the mark.
Imagine if you're a parent and you have pertinent information to this, like that dog, and you're asking me to just shut up. It's not going to happen. Microphone, and I'm going to talk to it, and I'm going to tell people this is important, whether the case or not. How can you eat that? How could you suppress that? So it could help your child and help everyone in that house find justice.
What was the FBI and detectives trying to suppress? What information about Murphy? Isn't that strange? Steve said that he'd find a microphone and he'd yell it out. What was it, Steve? Even DM was surprised that Murphy was found inside the house. Was this something to do with Murphy? So there was something they were definitely trying to suppress. And if it has to do with Murphy, I'm sure it has to do with Jack D too. Did the girls get attacked while they were searching for Murphy? Because Maddie was searching for Murphy between 2:30 to 3. And at 2:53, Maddie Morgan tries to call Bethany Funk. Bethany doesn't pick up. 2:55, we hear either Kaylee or Maddie or somebody else, maybe a random person, a female, yelling, "Stop it, stop." So it lines up with the timelining that I believe something happened to Kaylee and Maddie after 3 a.m. or sometime after 2:53 until the figures are running at 3:12. When it comes to Maddie, I believe number 9 put something in her mouth. Maybe to stop her from yelling. The sorority girls were all over the grub truck. And we know that Kaylee had issues with them. We have Jack Showalter that already threatened Maddie. He said, "You know we are going to get you for this, Maddie. You know we're going to get you for this." Why? That's when Kaylee asked Maddie, "What did you tell Adam?" Did this all start from the corner club, or did it start a couple of weeks way before the crimes? Did they pre-plan it then? Or according to 4chan, this was a beef brewing from fall 2021, the year before.
This morning, Kaylee Gonzalez's parents sharing exclusively with GMA never-before-seen pictures and videos of their 21-year-old daughter.
You can like season with these. I can't really season with them, but you can cook with them.
Yeah, I know that's in front of the tower.
Yeah.
This is in front of the University of Idaho Tower.
The family still waiting on a full digital copy of Kaylee's phone from authorities.
These are the last moments of your child's life, and you're sitting here fighting with somebody who just doesn't care.
They were able to collect some of Kaylee's belongings from the university over the summer, which raised concerns for them about how well possible evidence was processed, including a trash can from Kaylee's room that was full and appeared untouched.
We opened it. It was a little squeezy applesauce thing like you would give to like a toddler. Yeah. It did not appear to have been gone through.
Police saying they had gathered more than 100 pieces of physical evidence from the scene, along with some 4,000 photos and 3D scans of the residence. Still, frustration mounting for the family over what they consider a lack of communication and a rush to tear down the home on King Road. Christy describes for the first time how Kaylee was found.
It's my understanding Kaylee was kind of sitting up.
Yes.
And had fought.
Yeah. And the way that room's put together, if you come through that door, you can't get out of that room.
Completely, totally trapped.
Yeah. You're in a
Tiny,
bed.
tiny room. The bed was the entire room. You could barely open up the door without swiping the foot of the bed. And it was wall. You know, the headboard was up against the wall. The side where Kaylee was on was up against the wall. And if you can imagine Kaylee in an upright sort of position up in the...
I always wonder if it's written KJG on that pillow in DM's room. Kaylee Jane Gonzalez. What initials is written there? Were people gagged up here? Did they gag up Kaylee? Kaylee and Ethan, in my opinion, could have been gagged because they both seem to have been tortured. You can't give someone so many torture wounds if you're fighting with them. They have to be still for you to be doing that. Why is this rope on a bed? What's up with that mask? Is it the scary movie one? Red liquid, it seems like, on the blanket, on the sheet. What was going on in this room is my question. They all seem to have had alcohol bottles and beverages in their room. Were these students studying or partying? Aren't they scared of alcohol poisoning? This was more than a party house, let's be honest. Maybe that's why Kaylee moved back to her family's house. Is it me, or does this look like KJG? Kaylee Jane Gonzalez. Could that be possible? This picture is, this photo is taken from Saeed's device. I exposed this first right from the beginning, I think, 2-3 months into the case. Although it's blurry, you can see somebody's in the sitting position. I believe that's Kaylee, like her father and mother were describing. You can see the red liquid on the bed. It looks like a small room. I think that's Maddie's room. You can see somebody in a mask. Who could this be? Shawalter? who could this be? Because he had on a white hoodie. So Saeed was watching this around 2:57, 58. So I believe this is when the unalivings were actively happening. I apologize, but that's the truth, in my opinion. I'm just trying to show you all why I came to the timeline that Kaylee and Maddie were unalived from 2:53 to 3:12 when the figures are running, or maybe 3:33 when DM and a friend took the picture, uploaded it. The picture of DM showing a finger, basically. Yes, he's watching it at 2:58. You can see that. So I think this is the time Kaylee and Maddie were unalived. And I believe this group of boys came from Ethan and Zana. Whether they were involved or whether they were watching, their timelines make sense that the police stopped them after Ethan and Zana were unalived. This is just all my thoughts, my opinions. 2:55 is when you hear a female yelling, "Stop it, stop." It could be nothing, but it could mean everything. 2:55. And at 2:53 is when we hear 2:55 is when we hear a female yelling, "Stop it, stop." 2:53 is when Maddie tried calling Bethany Funk. 3:12, the figures are running. That's why I believe Maddie and Kaylee were deleted after 2:53.
Yep. Okay, is there a reason? Yeah. 19? Yep. Okay, is there a reason?
I believe when Maddie went out with Murphy, somebody, Lord Murphy, and Maddie got attacked towards Taylor Avenue. I've always said that. And I still believe that. And after hearing that Maddie knocked at BF's room and asked if she saw Murphy, it makes me strongly believe that they lured Murphy so that they could lure Maddie and Kaylee or come in. So please let me know what you think. Please like, share and subscribe. May the victims rest in peace.